head to Melbourne now. Joining me live now is the Shadow Housing Minister Michael Sukkar. We are going to talk housing, Michael, and it was one of the core concerns of the people of the Shire as well. But first I want to ask you about the Dunkley by-election, also what I was talking to Simon about there. I mean, were you one of those within the Liberal Party that said that you shouldn't be chasing down the teal seats, it should be outer suburban seats? And have you changed your mind after the Dunkley result?
Great to be with you, Laura. No, I actually don't know of anyone who has actually said that. I know it's been reported widely in the media. I mean, the truth is, Laura, when you are a party of government as we are, you have to put your best foot forward in every seat around the country. Now, of course, pragmatic political considerations come in as to where you can win and what your pathway to victory is. But I don't really think that there's any serious people in the coalition who think that we should be giving up on any seats, let alone seats we've held in the past. So I think the very wise words of our impressive new candidate there in Cook are correct, that in the end, there's a whole swathe of seats we have to win. And if you want to be a party of government, you have to appeal to people across a pretty broad geographic, social, and even political spectrum. And that's what we've successfully done in the past. And I'm hopeful and confident we can do it again.
Okay, a broad church, moving back to that broad church, but a 2% swing in Dunkley does not bode well for you winning enough seats at the next election. Would you agree?
Well, we had a significant increase in our primary vote in Dunkley, a 2 pp swing. I think the last time I looked, about 3.6%. In the end, I said this yesterday, Laura, and I agree, and I reiterate it. Politics in Australia is an arm wrestle, and the idea that Dunkley was going to be some sort of knockout blow either for the government or for the opposition, I think, is naive. Australians are hurting, there's no doubt about it. I think they're very disappointed in the first 20 months of this Labor government. I think they're concerned at a number of broken promises, including on reducing energy prices by $275. Obviously, a range of other broken promises. And in housing, we've seen on every metric, whether it's first home buyers, whether it's new home starts, whether it's new home builds, whether it's rents, on every metric, it has gone quite terribly since the election of this Labor government. So we'll have a...
Hang on, it's not just since the election of this Labor government, right? The housing crisis didn't start, a year and a half ago. You'd have to agree there.
There's always been challenges, but if you look at on every metric I've just mentioned, we are now in a demonstrably worse position than we were when Labor came to government. So first home buyers are at their lowest levels now since the Gillard government. New home approvals data that we saw yesterday shows that not only is Labor going to not meet their 1.2 million home commitment, they're going to fall hundreds of thousands of homes short.
Yep.
And the problem with approvals data being so bad, Laura, is if you think there's a housing crisis now, you ain't seen nothing yet because the approvals are down. Therefore, even fewer homes will be built in the short to medium term future. And at the same time, we've got a government running an unconstrained migration program. And I'm a product of migration myself, so I'm very supportive of migration, but it's got to be planned. And you've got to be able to know where on earth the people are going to live. This government hasn't done that. So on all the data I just outlined, Laura, it is dramatically worse since this government came to power. I'm not saying it was all rainbows and lollipops before that, but it's a hell of a lot worse. And there's no plan, no idea, and in fact, any commitment from this government on home ownership.
Do you think you're going to win votes by having a nuclear plan, which includes large scale?
Look, Laura, I'll leave it to very smart political observers like you to...
no one wants to touch this today from your side of politics. Why is that?
I'm very happy to touch it. My point, though, is I think we need to get away from, and I'm talking we collectively in politics, kind of running the ongoing scoreboard commentary. And our job will be, in the end, policies that bring down energy prices, that ensure we have a stable grid. I think if you do the right things in that sphere, then the politics will look after itself. It's a bit like housing. When I was housing minister, I was criticised, for example, for our home guarantee scheme, which enables first home buyers to purchase a home with a 5% deposit rather than a 20% deposit. Well, fast forward 3 years later, it's now supporting 1 in 3 first home buyers. So I took a lot of criticism at the time, but I was confident it was a good policy. I think in the end, if we focus on good policy in energy, the politics will follow in a positive way, Laura.
Okay, I guess the way I think of it here, Michael, and I wonder if you agree with me, is that if you are going to capture the imagination of some of these younger, more progressive, not progressive voters, but perhaps more progressive, just on the centre left of politics, you need to perhaps, yes, push ahead with a nuclear plan, be, technology agnostic, but I think there's a bit of scepticism that your side of politics might use this to slow down the move towards renewables. Is that what's happening here?
No, I think what you're seeing around the world, Laura, is a coal to nuclear transition. I mean, that's not just proposed in comparable jurisdictions, but
it's a bit mixed.
Well, it's pretty widespread, and if you look at the G20, the adoption of nuclear is not unusual, Laura. So I think the truth here is how on earth do we meet our environmental objectives whilst at the same time delivering baseload, secure, stable energy at an affordable price? And Anthony Albanese went to the last election promising. He stared down the barrel of the camera on 97 occasions and said he'd reduce your viewers' power prices by $275 a year. Well, not only has he failed that, their prices are going up. So I think the test for us will be in trying to bring back credibility to this debate is not go down the path of Anthony Albanese saying one thing before an election and doing another thing after, but actually making promises that we're confident we can deliver.
We've just seen the breaking news here, the average health insurance premium to rise by 3.3%. NIB have just said that will be about 4%. I know you haven't had a chance to look at this, Michael Sukkar. It's just come through to me here. But is that about what you would expect? This is obviously approved by the Health Minister, Mark Butler.
Look, Laura, I haven't seen it, obviously, before joining you. I mean, my expectation would be that it's incumbent on the government to get the best possible price for consumers, but at the same time, you've got to have a sustainable health sector. I mean, during the COVID period, for example, you saw virtually nil increases, and that was something that Greg Hunt, I think, worked very hard to deliver. I think we'll digest it. I think in the context of the cost of living crisis that we're feeling right now, I don't think many people are going to be celebrating an increase of that size. I think it'll just be another burden on top of what they're feeling in their rent or in their mortgage or at the supermarket or in their energy bills.
Indeed.
But I don't want to just go half-cocked now without seeing what sits behind that number.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much, Michael Sukkar. We'll speak soon.